So we have installed Docker, right? Let me start Docker. So these are the images I have, and these are the containers. Docker ps -a. Okay, these are the containers I have, everything from Hello World. We were talking about pulling and pushing, right? We have seen pulling and pushing from Docker Hub. Today, let's see pushing from ECR, Elastic Container Registry. Okay. See, this is the Elastic Container Registry service on AWS, where you can create your private repositories. Say I'm creating repository. Do you see this is the registry address for ECR? Okay, repository name. And so you can say this is the repository and it doesn't have any images. So first we need to push an image. Let's say I want to push an image. See, push commands were here. First you need to log in like you did Docker login, AWS ECR get login you should do. This is to log into ECR. So let's run the same. See, it will fail, unable to, before this, one more thing. If you want to run the AWS ECR commands means you should be having AWS CLI installed. Okay, AWS CLI is nothing but interacting or connecting to your AWS from CLI. But because this is an EC2 instance, you get this AWS CLI installed by default and you can run this, but yeah, it's saying it cannot identify. You have to authenticate using AWS configure. Okay, so AWS configure, run this AWS configure. See, it will ask for access key and secret access key ID. What is this access key and secret access key ID? Like I said, these are the credentials to connect to AWS from CLI. So you have to create them. Go to your account. Here you will see security credentials. Go here and yeah, do you see this access key secret key? I have one created. You can create this way. If you want new one, go and create, select, create access key secret key. Like PEM file, it will download an Excel file. Okay, I have done this yesterday and these should be very carefully stored. Okay, you should not share them or you cannot push them to your GitHub and all. They should be secure, all right? They should be stored confidentially. So I have those credentials. I will place them. They were downloaded as an Excel file. See, then it will ask for secret access key. From the downloaded one, place the credentials here. That's all done. Now run that AWS ECR login. Because you have credentials, see login succeeded. Even these also will be stored in config.json. I have shown you, right? Docker Hub credentials are stored here. Even these were stored here. Here you have .docker directory. In that config.json. See, these are AWS credentials. These are Docker Hub credentials. Okay, fine. Now you can authenticate. Now you can push. But if I push any of the images here, Docker push, let's say I'll push this. Where will it go? If I do a push on this, where does this image goes into?
It will go to Docker Hub, right?
Docker Hub. So I want to push to ECR. How to do that? Everyone did some hands-on on yesterday's topics? Yes or
No,
no?
no, Preeti, because we got the recording little late, right? So
Okay.
couldn't.
No.
Docker push, this command goes to Docker Hub. Now I want to push to ECR. What should I do?
You need to use the ECR address and repository and version.
Hmm?
You need to use ECR address along with the repository name with the version.
Means I need to have an image which will have a registry name prefixed, right? So Docker tag, I would like to tag this with my registry name where I have to push. Like, this is the registry. See, here they have given example also. Tag like this. Tag like this one. Okay, see, tag with the registry, repository, and the tag. Let's say I want to put tag. Need not be latest. You can give anything. I want V1 only. Now, first of all, I should have that image. See, I got this image. Now I can push this. Now, where does it go?
ECR.
Sure.
ECR.
Okay, right? It will go to Docker push. Understood. Now, let's see on ECR. I should do this. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me push here. Yes. Right? Okay. Your image is pushed. This is your image. Your image URI is nothing but your image name. See, this follows registry address, okay, repository name, and the tag name. Understood? So whether you push or pull the commands remain same. The naming convention is very important. It explicitly tells you where your image is stored. Please keep muted everyone having background sounds. Any question, unmute and speak out, and then again mute it, please. So this is the concept. Any registry, this is how you push and pull. Okay. Understood the tag importance, tag command. Earlier we have tagged it to push to Docker Hub only. Today we have pushed it to other registry as well. Any registry would be the same concept. So today, let's look in. Can I go ahead or any questions here?
Could you show one more time the tagging part, which you local image you tag to the and you mode push to the repository, right?
Take any image and tag it. Let's say I want to tag or create a copy of this. Means basically I want to push this image. Basically, I want to push this. Okay. That's how you tag it. New image will be created, which is a copy of this one. This is the one. Now I can push this, which will go to ECR. Just
Even public
tag it.
public repository which we pulled from Docker Hub can also be pushed to our own repo, right? Private.
You tag it, then anything can be pushed. Without tagging, no.
Okay.
Because a simple logic. First of all, I want to push something to ECR means that image should be like this only. It should be prefixed with ECR address. I can't, let's say I want to put to this one in ECR. Directly I push it goes to hub. So what I should do? I should create a copy of it with this name. Then if I push it goes to ECR because it is prefixed with a registry address. Simple logic. Right? See, they were pushed. Any more questions?
What is the advantages of using Nexus in this?
Nexus is also kind of registry. It can be used as registry as well to store images. Like you are using ECR, Nexus, JFrog, all of them can also be used to store images.
Any advantages?
Any advantages? Where do you store the image? Your developers build the image, they have to store the image, right? Different registries, ECR, GCR, all of these are different registries. Nexus, JFrog. Are you talking about difference between JFrog and this one?
Not difference.
Hmm.
Is there any particularly kind of advantages in Nexus?
No, nothing like that. That's another storage. Some of the organizations prefer that, but the thing may be in Nexus and JFrog, they also can store the source code artifactories like WAR files, JAR files. They can store those also. Here you can't store them. These are dedicated only for Docker images. Which registry they follow, it's again their standards, norms, and all, but not any specific advantage.
Okay.
All right. So we have created some containers till now, but they were getting exited immediately. Is that you want? You start a container and it goes exited immediately. No, right? You want to keep it running so that some application inside may be running. You want to use it, correct? So, but if you run this way, yes, containers goes into exited mode. What you have to do, there are different modes of running the containers. Docker run, first one is -itd. Means interactive terminal detached mode. ITD means interactive terminal detached mode. Okay, interactive terminal detached mode -itd, right? So Ubuntu. Actually, it is downloading the Ubuntu locally. It's pulling the image, right? Now, if you see Docker images, here is the image which is pulled in. Docker run -itd, which has pulled the image. See, first it will search locally because it doesn't find it has pulled from a container might have been started, right? Docker ps gives the container and it is still running. Do you see that? Up from 21 seconds. It is up and running. It's still active and running. Understood? So this will keep on running until you stop it. How do you stop it? Docker stop, container ID or name, anything can be used. First three characters of container are enough, CB5. This will stop. Until then, it will be keep on running only. See, no running containers. It might be under exited ones. Yeah, this is the one, it got exited. So interactive terminal detached mode is which will start your container. See, I'm doing again docker run -itd, again Ubuntu. It will start another container. ID is 199 and it will be running till you stop it. Up from 6 seconds, from 7 seconds. It just keeps on running till you stop it. See, from 14 seconds. How do you stop it? ID or name. It is stopped, it will be stopped, and then you can again start the same container. Docker start. Container will be started again. See, running from 3 seconds. Again, it will be running till you stop it. This is called interactive terminal detach mode, where you stay on your host and keep the container running. Got it?
So as many numbers as we start docker run command if we initiate, so it keep on creating new containers, right?
Correct. Docker run will always create a container and you are running it in detached mode.
If the images are running in detached mode, will it consume the resources?
Please go ahead.
If we start running the images in the detached mode, will the resources is consumed from the host?
Everything is consumed. Detached mode means just you are running them from host. There is another mode called interactive modes, means you go inside the containers. Here you are not going inside but running them by staying on your Docker host. That's all.
But the status shows as an exit.
Where is it?
If you run simply a Docker pull image, a Docker run means it goes to exited mode, right?
That is run. That is different thing. That's why you should not run that way. This way you have to run interactive mode.
Okay.
Clear, everyone? All right. So yeah, I started it again. If I want to stop it, same old story. 199, stop it. And then it's running from a more than 1 minute. Now I'm stopping it. If you want, you can start it again. This is the interactive detached mode. Okay, let me start another mode called attached mode or interactive terminal mode. That's all, -IT Ubuntu. So what is this will do? Run command will always create a new container. It will create new container here also. Then what it will do? It will go in, it will take you inside the container. You get the shell of the container. Do you see shell change, prompt changed? D6A. Earlier, this is the EC2 instance, but now inside the Ubuntu container. It's Ubuntu. Will yum package work here? And
No.
this is just to confirm we are inside Ubuntu container. Yum package manager is for CentOS Red Hat based systems, not for Ubuntu. Here the package manager is apt-get will work. Do you see that? Is it clear now? You are not on EC2. You are inside Ubuntu. Right? So this is terminal attached mode. If you want to do any configurations, installations, you may go inside the container this way, do any configurations you want, and then come out. How do you come out? Exit. When you come out, container will be stopped. Until then, it is running. You are inside, it's running. But once you come out by exit, this one, right? D6A. Correct? This one, D6A. This is the one. It got stopped. I'll do once again. Docker run, new container, see 944. Okay, I'm inside. It will be running till you stop it. If you want, you can duplicate and check. I'll launch another terminal. Do you see 944 is running from 57 seconds? So as long as you're inside, it's running. When you come out, it's stopping. But what I want is I want to come out, but still keep it running. If I do exit, it will be stopped. So there is one more thing you can do. Control P, Control Q. Okay, I came out, but still your container will be running. Do you see that? This is another way of coming out, but still keep your container running. Right? So it will be running till you stop it. Again, if you want to stop, Docker stop 944. Again, you can stop it, start it. That's a container life cycle actually. It was stopped. See, no running containers. It will be under here. If you want to start it, Docker start. Okay, container will be started again. See, this is the one started 944. If you want to stop, stop it. Or else if you want to go inside, yeah, you can also do that with Docker attach. See, you got the shell again. Again, you can do any changes you need. Exit means it will be stopped. Control P, Control Q, it will be still running.
Is there any possibilities to check how much is the resource utilization for that container?
Docker stats will help you check the resource utilization of each container. Only one is running now. So the memory CPU utilization.
Okay.
Preeti, we need to exit from interactive. So in order to keep running the container, Control PS at a time we need to press.
Control P,
Q.
Control Q. Not at a time. Control P, then Control Q.
Okay.
Okay, this is all called container life cycle. And suppose you want to stop, we did Docker stop, right? And if you want to remove Docker RM, removing the container. And it is error, it's saying you cannot remove running container because it's running. See what you have to do? You have to stop it, then remove it. Sorry, we removed it, right? We have to remove it. 9. Okay. So Docker PS minus A. See, you don't see it. So if you want to remove many containers, D6A and then 199, you can just keep them placed like this. All of them might be gone. Right? Okay. If you want to, okay, this is one way. And Docker images. If you want to clean up Docker images, Docker RMI. Okay, and the image name. V1. Separated by space, you can give like this also, multiple images will be gone. Right? This is all the container life cycle, starting, stopping, deleting, and so on. See, you still have some of them you can delete that way, or else there is a command called Docker system prune all. It will delete all the stopped containers and unused images. See, it has reclaimed this much space. Now, if you see Docker images, nothing. Docker PS, no containers. Everything got cleaned up. right? So this is the container life cycle.
Preeti, once it is down, images are down, where it is going to store in the local machine? What path?
I'll show you. Metadata will be stored. I'll show you. Meanwhile, once let me revise this. What is the run command? Docker run minus itd. What it will do?
Itd runs the container in detached mode.
Docker run minus itd means either it is either it is minus itd or it, it will start a new container, correct? It will create a new container only. But here in the detached mode, attached mode, that's all. Docker start is common. Whether you might have started in attached or detached, what it will do? It will start existing container. Docker start command will take container name or container ID, right? And Docker run will take image name, correct? Right? Yeah, Docker start will take the container ID, will start them in the attached or detached mode. Then Docker attach will help you to attach to any container. Yeah, stop to stop any container. Docker start to start, already start we discussed, stop, then remove Docker RM. That's a container lifecycle. And then Docker RM. Anything did we miss? Run will always create a new container. And you run container or you run an image? I mean, you pass an image name or you pass a container name to Docker run?
Image name.
Image name. So you will run an image. Container is a running instance. You don't need to run it again. Okay, you run an image. That's how you have to remember the logic. You run a Docker image. It will create a container, new container always. But I don't want new container means old container I want to start means Docker start. You provide the container name ID which is already there. Then attach to it. Start it, stop it. Right, remove it, remove the image. This is called the container life cycle. Clear? Any questions?
No.
So this is the logic you have to remember throughout. See, you have a Docker file. From Docker file, you get an image. From image, you get a container. Okay. Understood?
A new creation of Docker file and building that image would you be showing?
From Docker file, you get an image. From image, you get a container. That's the formula you have to remember, I was saying. And this is the part we were looking now. Image is there. You are running it and creating a container.
Okay.
Ma'am, when we run -it, it will no take us into the container. But when we run -itd, it will be in the detached mode, and we need to separately get into the container.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, in this mode also you start in attach mode. Later on you stop it. Again you want to connect, then again attach. Understood?
When we run it by using -itd, we need to attach it separately, right? I mean, by running Docker attach.
Yes. When you run in -IT also, if you stop and if you come out later on, if you want to attach, you will do the same, right? Simple logical things. Okay, like if you want to go inside a new container by creating a new, you can do docker run -IT. Let's say you have done that, you came out later on again, if you want to go any container, whether it was earlier started in ITD mode or IT mode, now if you want to go inside, attach. Got it?
Yeah, ma'am, got it.
Okay. So I would like to show you another interesting part called port forwarding. Can I go ahead?
Yes.
This is very interesting concept. The basic concept, the basic method I'll show you. The same will be used in Kubernetes or wherever you want to, um, like wherever you want to expose your application to external world. But this is the base. This is not how you do, but this is the basic. Okay, let me run some image.
Ma'am, one thing, when we run the image by using Docker run, it's create a container in the exited mode.
It create a container in
Exited mode, right? I mean, can we able to get into that containers? I mean, those containers which are created by using Docker run image name.
you can get it. You're exited, you have to start and get in. First you have to start, then you can get in.
Is there any real use cases of creating those containers in that way?
That way we never use it, only these methods we use it. Just as a beginner, because you don't know what is ITD and IT, I have shown that method.
Okay.
Use this. Docker images and we don't have any containers. I'm going to, okay, before that, let's come here to hub. Here there were so many official images were there. Let's say you need Tomcat, Unique, and Nginx. Already official images were there. You don't need to install or configure them. So I have some Nginx, HTTP, all of them are available. Nginx is a web server, right? Do you remember we installed Nginx or HTTPD to deploy some HTML file? So I'm going to run this in the detached mode, Nginx. Nginx means I did not put registry address, so it will go to Docker Hub. I did not put the port number. I did not put the tag, so it will pick up the latest. So I am running an Nginx container. Because it's not there locally, it will pull. What is the image Nginx runs on?
Ubuntu.
On which port Nginx service runs? What is the default port?
Port 80 or 80.
See, this is your container. Okay. Let's say some C1. Every container will have its own IP address. Okay. When you hit the IP address on C1 on 80, you can see Nginx. And this Nginx is again running inside an EC2. Okay. So if I hit the IP address of this EC2, can I see Nginx? Is this possible or not?
No, because that port 80 is mapped to EC2, not to the.
These containers, whichever you are starting, by default will be running on a separate network. You can call it as a private secure network or isolated network for security reasons. And yes, your EC2 will be running in another network, let's say network 1. This is network 2. Containers will be running in a separate private isolated network for security reasons. It's not that whatever running inside the container can be accessed from the host. No, right? They will be secure. But let's say this is the front end. I want to share it to the external world. How to do that? In that case, you don't need to open the entire content, this particular port. will be forwarded to some port onto this EC2 instance. Means port 80 can be forwarded to some port on the host. Means if you hit the IP address of the host on that particular port, you can see Nginx. That is called port forwarding or port exposing. You may call anything. Like if Linux guys are there, you will have port mapping concept, right? A similar concept. This is very much needed. You need to understand this concept. Simple and interesting. This 80 is of the container. It will be forwarded to some random port on the host. You have to do that port forwarding. But here I started a container without port forwarding. I'll show you. I did that to show you how actually it happens. Docker PS. See, Nginx started and it's running on 80. Okay. If you want to get the any more information of the container, even IP address, inspect ID or name. Like this is the ID or you can use the name. So I'm using ID. It will show all the information of the container in the form of JSON. And here if you scroll, see port is 80 and it's mapped to nothing. Means you can't access from outside. And this is the container's IP address. Because it's a container IP, you may curl this. You may curl or you may hit on this. On port 80. Yes. See, welcome to Nginx because you are hitting the container. What if you hit the EC2 instance IP? EC2 instance. This is the instance, right? What if you hit the public IP or private IP? Can it be accessible? On which port? Okay, let's try on 80. No, right? So port is not forwarded. You cannot access it. Shall we do port forwarding now? Yeah.
Yes.
Now, how do you do port forwarding? Whenever you start a container, you should use this P flag. Okay. When you use this P flag, here also, here itself, you see the difference. Do you see that? Earlier, it is not forwarded, but now our run will always create new container. It will forward to 32768. Okay, you can also inspect this if you want. Docker inspect BB5. First, see here, earlier it says null, but now it's forwarded to 32768. And this is the IP. If you hit the IP, obviously you will see it. There is no wonder here. Because it's inside the container anyway, it should work. Okay, curl command, typo. Okay, but you curl it on the host. This one. You should see Nginx. You may curl here or else you get it on the browser. But what you have to do? Do you remember security
Security.
rules? 80 is not added. Let it add the inbound rules. Add 80. Now, why is this still? Oh, sorry. On which port on the host? Is
Some
it
port
80?
37.
3272.
Ah,
That
so, yeah, 32768. Not 80. 80 is in the container. Now, hit this one. 32768. Yes. You may check from CLI also. That one you may have to check, not this port. 32768. Right? Good. Now, is this Nginx installed on the EC2 instance?
No.
We are
No.
accessing it means, does it mean that is it installed? Do you have it on in this EC2 instance? Is it installed? No, we are accessing it from a container. Which container?
Nginx.
From determined dev name, this container, right? You may see, always you have to do port forwarding for a new container. Later on, you can't. So if I do this, again, another container will be there onto another port. If you want to choose your own port, this is called free port forwarding, means it will choose a random port. But let's say I want to forward to 80 of the host, 80 of the container. First one is the host port. Okay, to avoid confusion, first let me do some random port. First part is the host port, colon container port. Right? Meaning, anyway, inside the container, you will have it. There is no wonder. So I'm not checking that. This one on 999. So you have to add this port here. Security. Edit the inbound rules. Add the rule 999. See, in reality, this is bad practice. You should not do from anywhere. You should do from your IP. Okay, like this means only from your machine. Once it is working, once you want to like face it to the everyone, then only you may choose it. Okay. So on we are able to access it on 2 ports. Doesn't mean that it is installed on 2 ports. The one is coming from this container, determined dev.ini, another one is coming from tender liquid. This is called binding port forwarding. This is called free port forwarding. You can start any number. Let's say I want to put on 80 only. Right, first part is host port. Second part is the container port. There will be a lot of confusion in the people about this, but just understand and memorize the things. See, now you hit this on 80. I think 80 is already there, or else I deleted this, I think. You should see Nginx. I did remove it, I believe. Huh. So, HTTP. Okay. IIP. On 3 ports, it's coming. Got it? This is the concept of port forwarding. Developers, once they configure their application, when they Dockerize it, they will also do this. We'll learn how it is enabled when we create image and all. But yeah, understood this port forwarding. Confusions clear. Can I clean up the images? Docker system prune. See, only stopped containers will be deleted. Docker stop 0A8 8D8 BB5 1C3. Now, yes, cleaned up. Similarly, Tomcat or anything already existing ones, this is how you can do and clean up. This is the concept of port forwarding. Understood? And I want to show you one more interesting thing. This EC2 instance is a Linux machine. I can run only Linux containers or Windows also.
Only Linux container.
These are all Linux only. Okay, let's try to pull something Windows. What happens? Let's see. Yeah. In the beginning, we were talking about them, right? So let's search for some Windows containers, Windows images. Yeah, let's suppose you can take some, and see, these are all related to Windows. Official ones, let's say. We don't have official ones. All right. So, okay. Yeah, something like this. Anything you can, okay? Let's say, see, this is the how you pull. Okay. Now go to your CLI. Try to pull some Windows image. See? Do you see that? Manifest unknown. It will not pull that. Understood?
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to run Windows. What I have to do? I have to go here. Like I started Linux machine, I can start a Windows machine, Windows VM, and do that. Or else if you have some Windows laptop also, you can do that. Let me show you on my laptop. But yeah, see on your Windows, there is one more advantage. Like let's say you want to install Docker on Windows. Install Docker on Windows or Mac, whatever it is, okay? So you have something called Docker Desktop. Docker Desktop means you get something like a GUI kind of thing. Okay, you can click this one, it will download an executable, double click the executable and it will be installed simple on Windows. If it is you're having Mac, okay, you can also do the same way. See whether it is Apple Silicon or Intel chip, accordingly you download it and a DMG file will be downloaded. You follow these steps. Again, they were simple. So install it. It is only one time. I have already installed, so I can't do it again. But yeah, I'll show you launching it. Installation is simple only, either it is in Windows or Mac. Here you will see. Once it is installed from the start menu in Windows, you can see if it is Mac, you can check in your applications. So launch it. Do you see this? This is called Docker Desktop, nothing but GUI of your of your Docker containers. See, you see all the containers here. Images. See, I have pulled Nginx some time back, so it is showing you there. Okay. Volumes. What are volumes? We will learn next class. But yeah, you can see everything here. GUI thing. You can also run click here, delete this way. Okay. Everything you can do. If you want to do from CLI, you can use your Git bash if it is Windows or CMD, I mean command line, anything you can use. Here also I can use the terminal. Okay, now I want to see a Docker on my Mac, means my laptop, okay, whether it is Windows, Mac, whatever it is. Do you see that? You can use CLI or this GUI. Where is it? Oh, okay. You can use anyway, but GUI is not preferable. If you learn GUI, you will never learn the concepts, but just you can see this. Okay, you will run you will run some images like this. Now tell me, this is my Mac. Which type of containers you think you can run? Or else Linux, Windows. Let's suppose I have this as Windows 10. With Docker Desktop, do you think what kind of images I can run?
Any flavor of any OS you can.
Any. See, EC2 instance, here I cannot run Windows. So let's say it's my Windows laptop. I install Docker Desktop, means Docker. Which containers I can run? Ideally, which containers should I be able to run?
Windows.
Windows only. How come all?
See, there you can select the run Linux container.
Yeah. See, ideally, you should be able to run Windows containers. I'm about to talk about it. You should be running Windows. But by default, your Docker desktop is configured in such a way, whenever you install it on Mac or Windows, by default, it will allow you to run Linux by default. Okay, because that's more, that's how Docker is used more. These are all Linux one only. Okay, but you may be asking them, but I have installed it on my laptop. I just want to run Windows only. Okay, then you have an option. Here, if you go to your settings, you have to change your Docker engine. Somewhere it will be. Start Docker integrated. system user, Docker engine. Okay, actually, I should reverse my screen.
I think it will be in the taskbar when you click on
Taskbar.
that
System tray.
icon.
But the
System
problem
System
here
tray
is,
icon. Yeah.
yeah, that we can do, but the problem here is I'm sharing my other screen. So I should reverse share it. Give me 1 second. I'm stopping the share. Can you see my desktop now? Yeah, and
Yes.
you the taskbar, you will see this Docker desktop on your Windows or in your Mac systems. Here, actually, no. Mhm. It's a bit different here in this Mac, but what happens here is you will, when you right click, you will see an option. Either you will need Linux host or you need a Windows host. By default, it will be Linux host only. Means what happens is on Windows, by default, it will start a little Linux VM at the back end, and your containers will be running there. But if you want, you can change it with that option by going to the taskbar. I'll check where that option is on Mac, but in Windows, that's how it is. Understood? So yeah, you can run anything, but you have to choose it. By default, you can run Linux only there. If you want, you have to change. Yeah, see here. In the Windows, this is how it is. It should be present here. A toggling. You can toggle between them. You can toggle either you want Linux host or Windows host. Am I making sense? Following everyone? This is just some general knowledge kind of. Don't worry if you don't understand, okay? Yeah. See, switch between Windows and Linux. Do you see this, everyone? Means Docker desktop advantage is you can run Linux containers or Windows, not both at the same time. Okay. You can start with the Linux containers only by default, but if you want, you can switch. There will be an option to switch when you right click it in the taskbar. Understood? That's all I just want to show you here. Any questions?
Regarding the repository, where it is going to store image.
Okay. Now, okay, this is an back. So whenever you install Docker again, it has got home directory under var lib Docker. This is where all the Docker information will be stored. Images, containers, okay, any volumes. Volumes will take up in the next class. Here are the volumes. And here, if you go to image, there will be metadata stored. Of course, now we don't, I cleaned up everything, right? For every image, there will be some metadata stored in here. And now nothing there, right? So,
Okay.
and yeah, we will not be using this thing anyway. It's just metadata, but these volumes we'll use a lot. Volumes is another way to back up your container data, which is again an important concept. We will look into that in the next class. Next class, or can I continue? Yes, can I start volumes or any more questions?
Ma'am, when we have Docker desktop on the Windows, I mean our local machine, and it will be by default it will be toggled into the Linux thing.
Mm.
I mean, if we have a Linux containers on top of that, what will be the underlying space it will be using from?
That's what I was saying. When you install Docker Desktop, by default, a Linux VM will be running at the backend, and your Linux containers will be running on that Linux VM. The storage and all you can see here, like in the settings of it. I don't know how to check here in the Mac, even I'm new to this. But on Windows, you can check all those configurations here somewhere, resources. See, resource allocated to how much they were consuming. Disk image location, if you want, you can change it, or default is this one. Here it is all configured. File sharing, where it is and all. You have documentation, you can go through it as well. Right? Changing up. Yeah.
Before starting the container, can we allot resource for the individual images, individual containers?
Okay, see the ideal method, actually the ideal way of containers is they'll consume the resources dynamically. Means like VM, you don't need to assign it. They'll consume dynamically from the host. But still, if you want to set on a limit for them, okay, I just want to allocate only this much from the host. Yes, you can do it. That is possible through additional flags whenever you start them. See, Docker desktop is always the reference to you. Every tool, I would suggest the official documentations. Okay, you can set limits on CPU memory. CPU memory flags are there. Like this, see, -m or hyphen memory swap. You can use this whenever you are running to allocate the limits. See, CPU quota. This is the CPU quota. You want to allocate. See, Docker run -it hyphen CPU or hyphen memory and Ubuntu bin bash.
Okay.
Okay, this is how you have flags. So see, again, every tool I would say, see here, left hand side, huge content, so many flags. It's not that I'll be using the entire document, all of this flags in my project, isn't it? You are getting me right. In any
Yes.
project in IT, I haven't used it. But if you need anything, okay, this is the method. You come here and search for it. Okay, you want to set a limit on a volume. Okay, volume limits. Sorry, I think I gave typo. Volume limits. Refer this one. Okay, see, so many are there. You have to read, understand, anything you have here. Okay, networking, storage. But you should know like the concept, you have good understanding, then you can understand these documents. Docker build we will be doing as we go by. All of that related to Docker building images. Builders, drivers. Okay, yeah. Refer this one. Docker Hub, see, Docker Hub, you have separate topic, see. For self-learning, it will help if anyone interested to see more. Creating an account, everything. Volumes we shall start tomorrow. Tomorrow we shall start volumes, and also we will talk about creating our own images. Till now we were using some Ubuntu, some Nginx, right? But let's say I want to create my own image. Yeah, custom images from Docker file, and there are different methods as well other than Docker file. We will look into that part tomorrow. I'm just trying to check it on Mac. Switching the host. I think here it is. Again, this setting. It's okay, but yeah, there it should be there somewhere. If you want to stop it, you can go here and stop the Docker as well, or else from CLI you can. All right, then that's all for today. Do the hands-on or any questions you have? Still any more questions? Do we have a class tomorrow? Tomorrow? What is it tomorrow? Oh, okay, Saturday.
Monday also be the class.
Huh?
Monday.
Mhm.
This was the 23rd.
Your voice
Tuesday.
is not clear. Monday? You are asking about this Monday?
Monday, right?
We have a public holiday, Priti, on Monday.
Oh, okay. Christmas.
Yes.
We'll have a holiday. It's okay, right? We are not working that. We have a holiday. We can spend some time here.
Okay.
We'll have it on Monday.
Okay.
All right, then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good day.
Well,
Bye.
Ma'am, what about tomorrow? Tomorrow you want?
Tomorrow we'll not have a session. We'll have it on Monday.
Okay.
As usual, from Monday to Friday, we'll have it. All right, then. Thanks.
Thank you.